and welcome to day 18 of the 6-week challenge. I can't believe it's day 18 already. I mean, we're almost at the halfway point we are when it comes to Tuesday, which is just incredible. It's gone so quickly. Very quick thing before we kick off this video. Did another check on the water weight this morning, about 5-10 minutes ago, just before I had a shower. And yeah, it's gone now back to where I was on Tuesday. So 2 days ago in the morning. Now, it's probably a tiny bit of water weight left in me, only a tiny smidgen because I've probably lost a bit of weight in the last couple of days, but it's there, and it just shows how quickly you can lose it once you put it on from one of those kind of nights. Now, I wasn't planning on doing a weigh-in at all today because I was meant to be out this morning playing golf with a buddy of mine, Rory, but unfortunately my daughter's a bit poorly. Had a bit of a tummy bug, had it yesterday, had it again today, so had to cancel that one down. So we've got a morning video rather than an afternoon video. What we do, I'm just going to quickly stop this video to show you the weigh-in, just so you can see that. So I'll stop it now. Okay, so day 2 after my big binge. Just going to do one more weigh and see how we're doing with the water weight loss. Here are the tinnitus. Let's get them on and have a quick look and see where we're at with that. And we are, as you can see now, whoops, 200.5, so exactly back to where we were pre-water weight put on, and I would expect to, as I say, knock maybe another £1.5 off this week, maybe 2 if all goes well, but I have got another bit of a session out on Sunday for Father's Day, but we'll see. Anyway, that's that for this bit. Back to the video. And there we go, that was the weigh-in. So let's carry on with today's topic. And today I'm going to go a little bit heavy. And I want to talk to you about something I mentioned in an earlier video where I discussed the fact that overeating tends to be the smoke behind the fire of what's actually going on inside of you. And for some people, and certainly for me originally, it was because of trauma that had happened earlier on in my life. So when I was younger, I went to a private school called Buckland House. And I was already a slightly overweight kid because I'd had a few problems as a child, and we'll talk about those in another video. But I went there at the age of 7, so I was like this little kid who was scared, obviously 7 years old. And I remember my first day there getting there, and I had like these button-up shorts. And I'd never worn button-up shorts before, only ever to use a zip. And I remember I got there and was stood needing a wee. Somebody told me where the toilets were. I went there, couldn't unbutton in time, and I wet myself. And that was the start of getting bullied by people there. Obviously, it's not a great thing on your first day to wet yourself. You get a reputation. I was also overweight, so I started to get regular beatings from different boys. I remember 2 of them, the Southern twins. They got me up under the guise of friendship into their treehouse, and I got up and I was really excited. I thought, wow, finally people are going to accept me. One of them punched me in the stomach, another one then tied me up, and another one then stabbed me in the foot. So, and I have a scar on my foot to show that, which I, well, if you want to see it, I'll show you in another video. And sorry if it looks like I might be getting a bit slightly emotional here. I can see from looking at myself in the camera, but it's still quite a painful topic because it was a hard time in my life. It was the kind of shit you see in movies, like really dark and nasty. And the teachers weren't much better. I remember I was trying to behave and be a good boy, and I was asked to go down to the headmaster's office, and he said, right, I'm going to give you cane you now. I said, well, why? And he goes, well, you know, you've been irritating some of the teachers. Well, I hadn't. I've been really, really good, but it was one of their things. They cane you just to show you what caning is like so that you then don't do anything in the future, which seems like a stupid way to do things, but that's what they did. So unfortunately that sent me the other way. So I was getting bullied by these guys, so I kind of went into myself a little bit and also started acting out. I was getting caned by the teachers, and I thought, well, to hell with it. So I started playing out, and I had 3 years which were, yeah, they were really hard, really hard, and it stayed with me for a long time afterwards. I acted out when I left that school at the age of 10 because it closed down, and I went to another school which was much nicer. However, in my first term when I was there, it was a bit difficult because I had a Cornish accent, slight Cornish or Devonshire because the school was down there, or kind of that mixed with Somerset. So I used to speak a little bit like this, and that was my accent. And I went to a really posh school up in the Midlands, and when I went there, people started to see me as different, and 2 boys started a campaign of terror against me. I say terror, but it was. I mean, they basically started stealing things and leaving notes that admitting that it was me admitting that it was me that had done it, so writing notes, even though it wasn't in my handwriting, but the teachers still kind of believed it was me, which was crazy. So yeah, so that's that. But then it settled down, and I had a pretty good few years until I started acting out again, and things came back, and I got expelled, well, asked to leave, and I took my exams early and went on to my next school, and again, it was fine. I had an incident in my first term when two boys in the upper sixth tried to rape me. But they didn't succeed. I'm pleased to say, luckily, after about the age of 10, I had started doing martial arts and I was able to defend myself adequately and I actually came out on top. I got a nickname at school then, Killer, for fighting them back, and 5 years nobody touched me again. But I did act out again and I didn't really do well with academia. Dyslexic, mildly, not massively. Still struggle a bit to this day with that. And yeah, it was really, really challenging, really, really difficult. And I kept overeating, kept eating and eating and overeating. And it peaked in about my 20s when I hit 22 stone, and stayed there or thereabouts for a long, long time until I finally started to face up to some of my childhood traumas, and that only happened in the last year, with massive thanks to my wife helping me do that. There's actually a known thing called boarding school syndrome, which talks a lot about people who've been to boarding school, but for any kind of abuse you've suffered, there are lots of techniques out there to essentially deal with the emotions that you felt with at the time, because you generally as a child can't deal with them fully, and also to forgive those bastards who did the stuff to you. And I use that phrase because I'm trying to be nice, but people abuse you, they're kids, they did stuff, but in your mind it's still very fresh and they're still bad people and you're still angry and you hold a lot of anger, and the anger builds resentment, which makes you just act out and overeat in my case. And one of the techniques I learnt was letter writing. And what you do is you write a letter to the person who really, really hurts you, and you tell them exactly what you think in no uncertain terms. You tell them how they hurt you, what you'd like to do to them, how bad it was, and how bad it's going to be when you get to them, and what you do to them. Now, when you've written that letter, the advice is then to destroy the letter. So you burn it, and burning is, I find, the most cathartic thing to do for that. Now, what this does is it helps you get the emotions out of your system. It helps you to express them and to feel them to a certain degree. But it also helps you to start to forgive the person because you can see it in context. And it's just a small technique that sounds really, really simple, but Jesus, is it effective? It really, really works and really, really helps. So if you think back in your lives and you see at any points where you've had something really shit happen to you and you can actually pinpoint it, and you still feel a lot of anger and resentment about it, and you think it might be fueling some of your behaviours and negative behaviours, try writing a letter. Try doing that to that person. Read it, get everything out, as vicious as you want to be, as nasty as you want to be, as politically correct as you want it to be and need it to be. Just get everything out and then burn it. And that will, I think, probably help you, because it really helped me. And I hope it helps you. So yeah, today's topic's been pretty heavy stuff, and it felt a bit weird sharing all my stuff with you, but hey, why not? We're here on this journey together. I'm doing this challenge to show you what can be achieved in quite a short period of time, but also to show you the process you need to go through to some degree in order to make it long lasting, not just short lived. And after all, that's what we're after, not just a quick fix, actually having long-term health benefits from this rapid weight loss. So that's all I have to say for today. Not sure what we'll talk about in tomorrow's video, but looking forward to seeing you already. So take care, and I'll see you tomorrow.